Howdy, folks. This is Brian here with Milky Way Weekly. And tonight is going to be the continuation of the Friday night series, Mass Chaos. And I guarantee you that's what it's going to be. Tonight, I have got with me Trina Alessandro, Pink Angel, which is Cat, and Keelee Rayanne. How you ladies doing tonight?
Awesome. Great.
Good.
Doing good.
Good. So tonight we're going to be talking about a plethora of subjects, but we're going to kind of lead off right now, and Trina is going to boot us off. Trina, fire away.
Okay. Hi, everybody. All right. Tonight we were thinking about just kind of shooting a discussion about collective consciousness and the power that it holds, and maybe putting a little bit of focus and energy into putting a strong love vibration and energy into our community and anybody else who you know who needs love and support in this goal to be a better planet and a better people. And I thought that would be kind of a cool experiment to see if it affects our world if we collectively come together and send a lot of love and support to each other, if we could see that manifest in our reality. Because I think right now, a lot of us are feeling like we're getting hit pretty hard with some serious energy. And I think right now, it might be a great time to challenge that with the opposite end of it, which is just sending out a massive bubble of love and protection and support to all the people that you love and support.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think we should.
All right. Well, I think I got everything set up now. So yeah,
Awesome.
I think coming together as a collective, I've talked about it before on this show, like the power of prayer. It's the same thing. When you get a group of people focusing on one certain energy, and you can have positive or I guess negative outcome. So how can we organize something like this? Besides, that's like this I Am Love movement that I kind of, somebody brought to me. That warms my heart when I go in these chat rooms and people typing that in, and it's as simple as that. Just, people putting that vibration out there.
I think that's what kind of inspired me, Brian, was the whole I Am Love thing. It really, I see people excited about it, and you can feel it. Like when they say I am love, or they send you I am love, you can feel it. And there is a frequency and an energy to that. And I just think it's as simple as that. Just consciously, every time you think about it, or say you're having a bad moment or something's going on in your world which is rocking your frequency, grab a hold to all of each other with that frequency of I am love and we are love, and together we are one.
Right.
Indeed.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I feel like something's coming in. I don't know what part of the country, I know people are from all over the place, but I know here in Tennessee, they have been spraying hardcore. And I know, Trina, you said out in Arizona, they've been spraying a lot too. And I've talked to a few other people. And, I've had a show before where I feel like, we're getting that cosmic radiation, and that's part of what's evolving our DNA. So, I don't know if it's because of this meteor coming in, but it's got that debris filled with it, or if they're actually just trying to stop those transmissions. But like I said, they have been spraying heavy, and it's just nonstop. I got all of it on film day I'll be putting out, but it's amazing.
Yeah, I was at the beach last week, and I could see them going over spraying, and it ended up that they sprayed like a bubble right in front of the sun as it was going down for sunset. I mean, like a pretty perfect bubble, but you could see where it was thin, that you could see like that big ring around the sun. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
The halo or whatever they call it. Yep. So yeah.
Halo.
Right.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah. Brian, that dome that we saw in Sedona, that weird dome, and the sky was clear above, and then below it, it was like a thunder cloud, perfect under this dome. They had one outside my house tonight.
You mean like a rainbow type of dome kind of thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah, those are weird.
A chemtrail that was arched like a rainbow, and the rest of the sky was sky blue. And
it's a completely different color underneath than it is above, and there's the clear line of sort of a cloud, kind of like a Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
It was a full thunderstorm that just built up
Inside
underneath it. Like
Yeah.
it was geoengineering in process.
Well,
It
here
was
too,
crazy.
I
And then
mean,
next thing you know, a storm.
I live in Clearwater for people that
Go
don't
ahead.
know. And the strangest thing happens here that not the clouds, but the air will turn yellow right before it rains. Like I look outside and it's like almost like someone coated my windows with some yellow tint or something. It's a really weird looking thing. So,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah.
I know the clouds have been all kinds of different colors here. Like you'll see those white clouds, and then there's these real black clouds that come in right, and it's like it looks
Pink,
weird.
orange, yellow.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that is all the chemicals that's in it. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm not getting a chemtrail discussion. We're trying to talk about.
Well, but you were
Don't
talking
get me
about why they
started.
were spraying, though. You know, like if the spraying had something to do with the energy coming in, so that's how you went off that way about it. So, but anyway, so okay, go ahead, Trina.
Well, it was just tonight I was looking at the sky and you know the clouds were really like gray low and then above was blue skies. But to the east where the sun's not setting at all, there's these three massive pink glowing things behind the clouds. I took pictures of them, Brian. I sent them to you, so you'll see them later. But yeah, it was just really weird. I mean, it was like black sky that was so thick, and then this pink light emanating out from the back of the dark clouds, and the sun's on the opposite side. I'm like, okay, that's a little strange. And then like when Brian and I saw that dome thing, it was so similar but it was a little straighter, and then it just had these rainbow colors underneath it, and then it went to gray again. But above it was just bright blue. But then there's like a black thing, and then it's just weird. I'm like,
yeah.
Weird.
I want to see this. I need to see these pictures.
Yeah, it's just, and it's so pink. It's so pretty. Oh my God. Pink.
Yeah,
and
it is
orange.
pretty, but like it's pretty and ominous at the same time because you know it's not supposed to be like that. Right.
Yeah, pretty and ominous.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I had pictures of clouds where it's like this kind of the same thing. Like there's, I don't know if they call them the shove clouds or the mushroom clouds, where they kind of go like this. And there's some huge bright yellow light in the middle of the cloud. It's like, okay, the sun's over there. So what's lighting up the cloud? But,
I'm seeing that a lot.
yeah, there's definitely some weird stuff. I mean, real quick, just I'm not trying to plug his channel, but I am too because I really like this guy. But Donnie from Daytona, he does drone footage from over in Daytona, and he can go really high because he's got some really nice drones. And he has footage of he's not that far from the Kennedy Space Center where their fog machine or their cloud machine that. Before sunset one night, they sprayed the clouds, and he took his drone above the clouds, and you could see two suns.
Whoa.
So, yeah. Yeah.
I've heard other people talk about that too, the two suns.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yep. He'll catch it both at sunrise and sunset because sunrise, it's like you'll see one sun coming up, and then you'll see another one, and they kind of merge together. But I think that's why they're hiding them, because they're not coming up simultaneously. Like, you know, they're not perfectly, the first one isn't perfectly hiding the second one. So that's why they are hiding it from us. So
amongst other things, that's a multifaceted thing there. So, okay, turning back around here.
yeah.
Kind of this is your first time here, and, you know, I want to kind of introduce you to the community. So why don't you kind of give us, you know, a little idea of what you do?
Okay, I'm a psychic medium, energy healer. I do a lot of my work kind of is like a combination of mediumship, energy healing, but also a lot of inner child healing. Because, I mean, I haven't met anyone that doesn't have inner child issues. So there are things that are sometimes stuck in your subconscious that you're not really thinking about that can affect your life, like cause all this toxicity in your adult life. And it could be something, I mean, I've pulled things out. I've pulled an inner child out and like sat there and talked to someone, and it'll be a 42-year-old woman and she sounds like she's 4, you know. There's just, you don't really think about all these things that happen throughout our lives that you've repressed. And so the way my channeling works is I kind of pull that out of the subconscious and we work through it, and then once it's gone, those issues don't come back. So I do a lot of work like that, a lot of inner child healing.
That's important.
Like you said, yeah, I found when I went through this process of, you know, trying to do the shadow work and stuff like that, I actually, you know, and I still think I've got things that's buried down in there that I don't even know what it is, but I know there was a lot.
Hey, we'll get it out, Brian. We'll get it out.
Like, you know, that's one thing I'm like I've told many people before, the biggest thing in this, at least for me, is trusting yourself. And I find that a lot of people have the problem is, you know, just trusting yourself. So, Kat, you said, you know, that you do some medium work too, right?
Well, I think I'm crazy when it happens, but especially when I'm meditating, that like all these conversations are going on in my head, like just these random thoughts, random sentences that make, you know, no sense, that doesn't apply to anything in my life. So I know that's not me. But when I very first started to, long time ago, when I started to learn how to meditate, that was probably my biggest experience of being a medium, because I was getting into the meditation, and the first time I found myself like in this bombed out town, like World War I, and all these people ran over to me and they're like, help, help, help. And I was saying, well, someone can run to the next town and get supplies. And then I realized they were all dead. And I'm thinking, well, I can't really help you. And then the second time, I found myself in this house that was like in the 50s, 50s decor. And I looked down, I was in a bathroom, and there was a woman laying on the floor, and she had on like a 50s dress, and she was dead. And I knew she killed herself. And her son came up and said, that's my mom. And like, oh, okay. And he was showing me pictures, and he said, this is my grandpa and my dad. So, but those were like really, I don't even know the words I'm trying to say about this, but okay, I'm not even going to try to describe it. But since then, it's like I haven't really had a lot of those experiences where my consciousness or whatever is taking me places. It's more of I'm just hearing things, you know. So
let me ask you a question. What kind of got you, how long ago, and what kind of got you into where this, you know, phase that you're in now, like your spirituality? When did that start to blossom?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess I've always known that I was different. You know, I was the kid that would support all the ones that were picked on, and, you know, fight for the underdog or whatever. And then people would pick on me and make fun of me because of it. But I was always extremely sensitive. And probably about the time I was in high school, I started to figure out that I could feel people. And I always felt like I was psychic, but I could never predict events. And I think in my 20s is when I started realizing that I could see emotions of people in the future. So if someone said, well, am I going to get a new car tomorrow? Well, I'm not seeing you in a car, but I can see if you're going to be happy or sad, you know. Right. That, but so I think it was probably in my 20s, and but definitely around, I think it was about 2012. And I mean, I didn't plan it. It was just one of those things where I'd been in a really bad karmic relationship, and, you know, he really treated me bad. And I just started standing up for myself and wanting him out of my life. And he moved into a second bedroom. And I really started asking that question, like, you know, where are we from? Why are we here? What's the meaning of life? You know, where do we go after this? And all those questions. And that's when I started learning how to meditate. I'd gone to one of those, like, you know how they used to have shows with like comedian hypnotists where they pick people out of the crowd and make them bark like a dog or quack like a duck. Yeah. Right. Well, he had that show that I went to. The guy was selling CDs after the show, and not funny ones, but like serious self-help ones, and talking about your inner child. I have abandonment issues, and whether or not they're valid, I have them, You know, my mom always feels like, well, I never abandoned you, but okay, well, whatever. It's the impression that I had, just whatever. But so I picked one for self-esteem. And I listened to this thing sometimes 4 times a day, over and over and over, and it changed my life, honest to God. So I really believe in hypnotherapy and meditation, and, you know, especially if you're really trying to retrain your subconscious to feel good about yourself, you know?
Oh, I agree. It's like meditation saved my life. Like I was a train wreck. And I mean, you know, and my mind still races, but like when I can go into meditation and clear all that, otherwise I swear I'd be in a padded cell somewhere.
I know.
No doubt.
Same for me. Yep. The anxiety I was getting is unreal.
I lately
So
though,
what got you into it?
huh? What? Who?
I'm sorry, what's
Go
that?
ahead. Mass chaos, I told you.
I'm gonna sip it.
Anyway, I was gonna let you finish, but anyway, I was gonna ask Keelee what got her into it. When did you know?
I think my awakening started, I mean, I could always talk to spirit. I could always communicate for as far back as I can remember. I remember being like 4 and seeing spirit and communicating. And I always say, like, every house I lived in, I was like, why do I keep finding all these houses that were haunted? I didn't realize that I was the haunted one. The houses were haunted.
Right.
Everything tried to communicate with me, and I think they could just see my light. And I had some bad issues with spirit, and then my awakening really started when my daughter was born. That was 2004, and I remember that's the first time I really had like a dream that was so vivid. And the nurse handed me the baby and she actually named my daughter in my dream, and I just knew that was supposed to be her name. And once she was born, everything shifted. Everything just changed for me. It's like, you know, the grass is greener, and I just knew something more in life, and I kept pushing things back, and the universe, of course, takes it anyway. So I had a really rough awakening. I mean, I'm still getting those, you know, those dark times. I have had so many dark nights of the soul. It's ridiculous. And it's still going on, you know.
It is. And I want to say this real quick, because I know you're probably going to ask Trina that same question next, but like what I was talking about, the abandonment issues, that my daughter kind of has the same, because, you know, bad breakup with her father, and, you know, he did the brainwashing thing and made the kids feel like I was nuts. And 2 out of the 3 are very spiritual. And my daughter can see my main guardian with me whenever she wants to. And I've tested her to make sure that she really could. But she was here last week, and it just came out that she purged on me, like, the things that she felt I had done wrong to her when she was younger. And it really hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like ashamed and humiliated that, you know, I mean, there's always 2 sides to every story, but just the fact that she had that impression of me, whether or not she was right or wrong, which was what I was kind of starting to say before. But we did purge it, and I said, look, you know, and I apologized profusely. I didn't even try to make excuses and say, well, you were a really nasty kid or whatever, or I didn't even want to go there. I just wanted to heal from it. But at the same time, because of what I was experiencing with my own daughter and her abandonment issues, now I could clearly see how I treated my own mom. So now I'm like, I got double purging going on, because I'm purging how my daughter, you know, feeling bad about how my daughter saw me or her impression of me, and then feeling bad about how I treated my own mom. But we've all purged it.
A lot of that is like, we have to, you know, we can't tie our self-worth to things. So when we go through these awakenings, we start doing all this shedding, you know, and a lot of us, I mean, I was tying my self-worth to parenting. I was tying my self-worth to my career. I was tying my self-worth to, you know, relationships. And that's part of a lot of shedding that I had to do. So that's probably what you were going through, is like learning not to tie your self-worth to parenting. Because a lot of us go through that, you know. I have a lot of clients that go through the same thing.
I mean, I think that it was because of whatever energy we're going through. I think it's all supposed to be happening right now. And in the last month, I've had all 3 of my kids like really come back into my life. And since January, my mom and I, we've been off and on for years. That now, right at this moment, for the first time in 12 years, I'm talking to all 3 of my kids and my mother. And I really feel like, we were talking earlier about losing our jobs and things that we have to go through, or like things that our guys are putting us through or whatever, that I really feel like this is all part of my process. And it's like amazing, because I also feel kind of like I'm manifesting it. And sometimes I sit here and think, well, nothing's going on. I'm bored. I'm not sure what I should be doing. What do I want to do? And all of a sudden something pops up, where a kid pops up out of the blue saying, hey, Mom. So I'm like on top of the world right now, because I feel like I'm in a super good place, and I'm really believing that even more good stuff is coming in, because now that these family issues are being healed, that it's, paving the path for other stuff to come in. You know what I mean?
Get out what you put
great.
out,
Yeah. And especially the thing about, being happy with yourself, and like, not wanting a relationship or not needing outside things because you healed the inside. So, okay, I'll shut up now. Next. I do that, don't I? Next. Okay.
Trina, your story is very similar to Keelee's, actually. Why don't you kind of give an overview of how yours came about?
The same thing. I was 3 years old at one of my earliest memories, and my spirit guide was the Lord. And I'd never been to church. So I realized when I saw his picture on somebody's wall, that was my spirit guide. And that was a whole conundrum in its own. So I've been dealing with spiritual stuff since I can remember. And I could hear, and then I lost somebody close to me who passed away. And then I saw him standing in my hallway 3 months later. So I'm having all this crazy stuff going on my whole life. But my guide was the Lord. And he would always just tell me, if you have confusion over these things, just talk to me. He said, because if you tell other people, they're going to think you're cuckoo. So he always protected me. He told me not to go to church. He told me a lot of things, because he was like, God's within you. And he would tell me, and then I would remember being before I was born with him. And, I thought I could do the same stuff there I could do here. So at 3 years old, I'm like trying to fly and stuff. And he's like, whoa, hold the phone, So it's been a journey, like that my whole life. And then I kind of shut it down for many years, as best as I could. It really didn't work out so well. I still had dreams and stuff. And then I never knew I was a channel until, I don't know, I guess about 2003. And my girlfriend was like stressed out because she didn't know where her husband was. And he was driving in the car a long distance, and she hadn't heard from him in many hours. So she was like freaking out. So all of a sudden I just started seeing I could see him in the car, and I could see the mile marker. I could see everything going by. And then all of a sudden I just thought in my mind, rewind. So then I got to see his whole day backwards, until the point to where he was supposed to leave when he didn't. And he was there like 5 hours longer than he should have been. But I got to see the whole business meeting. I got to have like full details of why he wasn't home, and when he would be home, and where he was currently at. And that was the first time I ever realized I could even do anything like that. I was like, whoa.
That's really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So it's been a long journey of just all these random things that would just like happen. And most of the time out of desperation to help somebody, I'm just like, oh, I want to know for them, so I'd like focus really hard, and I would just see. So I could just travel or do whatever. So to me, I think it's just been a very natural process. And through that process, I learned about like my real superpowers are like helping people in like shamanic trances or quantum healing sessions. That's kind of where my gift is. And my other gift that I found out was I can just push energy really well. So if there's stuck energy, I can usually just blow it apart. So it's just a learning process. And I think the more you do stuff, the more you learn about yourself.
I've seen a couple of people in the chat. Well, actually, I'm glad you said that, because that's a couple of people in the chat room have talked about different energies, that we're feeling. And I've seen a couple of people comment about feeling other people's energies.
Oh
so
my gosh, can we turn that off?
Right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So I guess that's a yes.
Ah, Yes doesn't even describe it.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking before. Go ahead, Brian.
Give me a for instance.
Man, it's every day, all day for me. I mean, I know people say you can turn it off, but I just haven't been able to. But honestly, I'm not sure I'd want to, But I've really learned that whatever. I mean, I can wake up the moment my eyes open, my heart's just pounding really fast. I'm having panic attacks, and I'll text everybody, "Is it you? Is it you?" And then finally, someone admits to it. But I've learned that, especially with my heart chakra, that it's almost like I feel it outside my body, but touching my heart chakra. And that's how I really know it's not me, because I've really learned to pay attention to, if it's my own bad feeling, I'll feel it more in like my solar plexus, but oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've learned to manipulate energy as well. Like I've been out at night, and there have been people, you go into a bar and there's so much negative energy there. And I've been able to manipulate where someone would like try to start something with me, and I'm able to completely shift their energy. So it ends up being where they're hugging me before they leave, and they're trying to get my business card to have lunch.
Right.
So I love manipulating energy, but I've also had it where when I first started going through I've gone through my awakening since 2004, but when I really started knowing what it was or what was going on is when it's like, how you start going through your awakening and everything, every sense is so heightened, and you're hearing conversations other people are having, and I was in an IHOP, and the waitress, I could feel her withdrawals. I could feel her. She had an addiction, and I could feel it. I could feel what she was feeling.
Oh, wow.
And I couldn't make eye contact with her, and I was feeling her sickness. So I actually it was so weird, because I went to the bathroom and put up that protection bubble and grounded myself for a minute. And I came out of the bathroom, and she walked right past me, and it was like she didn't even see me. It was so strange. And then when she came back to the table, it was like I couldn't feel anything. Before I could even make eye contact with her, and it was like when she came back to the tables, it was all cleared. I couldn't feel it anymore. It's the strangest thing when, like, I tell my clients, and a lot of my clients, when they come to me, they're not spiritual. They don't know they're going through their awakenings, and I kind of help them realize. But when I tell them to put up this invisible bubble, they think I'm crazy. But every time they do it, they'll come back the next session and realize that it's actually working,
Well, that's, extending our aura, I think, and keeping that energy on the outside of our aura,
Yeah. So funny, because I'll be like, well, just imagine this bubble going up, and they're like, what? No.
Well, see, that was my point behind, like, I wanted to get it out there, like, a lot of people that are feeling these different energies, not all of them may be yours. And that's one thing, it's,
right.
If something's bothering you, and, and you can't figure it out what it is, try to look at the things or the people that's going on in your life, and you'll probably figure it out that it's not your energy that you're feeling, it's someone else's. Because like I've told, I've said it before, I had that problem in the beginning, and like, I was like, what is going on with me? I had all these emotions, and like, crying, and like a girl, not like a girl, but I'm just saying, like, crying all the time. And I was like, what is going on? And then finally I figured out, like I said, who I was talking to, what was going on, and I was getting all these emotions coming through me. And, I don't know, it can be stressful. And so,
cool,
like I said, if there's anybody in this,
sorry, Brian, it's cool that you intuitively knew to like write this list down, and like figure out, tear it apart and dissect it and figure out whose energy you were carrying. It's cool.
Well, I do that. Let me tell you, that didn't happen overnight. Like, it took me, I went through it for a couple of weeks before I knew what was going on. So I went through hell for a little while.
I do what I call a head check, and I'll go through like, okay, well, what's wrong in my life that would be causing me to feel this way? And I have an ex-boyfriend that we were off and on for 5 years, and finally back in, I think it was like January, I finally completely blocked him from calling and texting, because he started really getting emotionally abusive, especially because he was threatened by someone else. But for like at least 2 weeks after I completely cut him off, I would wake up and honest to God, I wanted to kill myself. But I knew it wasn't me. I knew that was him. And it finally went away, but oh my gosh. I mean, it can be that intense that if you don't know that it's not you, you might be doing something to hurt yourself, thinking that you're the one that wants to kill yourself.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. I've had those emotions come through me before, and like that's not me. And this was not long ago that actually happened. Like, I was feeling like, like God, I wished it was over. And I know a couple other
yeah.
people in the community felt the same thing, and that's what helped me figure it out, because I was like, I'm not suicidal at all. My father committed suicide, so I would never do it.
Well, I've
like
tried,
I said,
but didn't work. but
Well, I mean, it's saying that shows you the lows of lows that can happen. And I know, like with anyone, or most people that I've talked to, you're either high or you're low. I mean, there's not that happy medium like you used to be able to enjoy.
we do feel like we're bipolar. It's awful.
Yeah, with all these shifts, it's even worse. Like it's the negative energies that are going around, with those, the lows are really low lately,
I'm really happy that my mom hasn't like thrown me into a mental institution yet. I'm happy that she's really accepted that, when I tell her that, Mom, it's not me, that she just doesn't argue with me anymore, because there's got to be days where she would think I was bipolar, that, for no reason, when I'm like, hey, and the next day, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't know what to do. I feel like killing myself. I don't want to be here anymore. And then the next day I'm back to, hey, yeah, having a great day. Yeah. Yeah. So thank God she understands, because people that don't,
Oh yeah,
really.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rest of my family thinks it's crazy, but like I said, I'm blessed with a mother that's pretty open-minded. So thanks, Mom.
Well, I said before.
Otherwise, like I said, I'd be in a padded cell somewhere.
Right. But it helps, like we were saying earlier, that our moms are empaths, but they don't really talk about it, because that wasn't really, when they grew up, it wasn't the thing to talk about, Yeah. But so
not my reality either. Like my family, they're not awake.
Yeah.
No.
Mine are starting to. Like I have a sister that's starting to wake up, but I don't care how crazy it sounds. I'll just say it anyway, even if I'm out at the store or whatever.
Right.
Right. That's why I don't go out for
my kids make fun of me in the grocery store.
Oh, Mom! I know.
Yeah.
I was saying,
if people heard your conversations, you would be locked up. I don't care.
Right. My youngest, that he was one of the ones thinking I was nuts, but he was one that was labeled ADHD, but I know it's because he's a medium and feels energy, and now he's actually working on telekinesis of all things. But all of a sudden, when he popped up, it's like his first question with me was, and he thinks he's gay. I don't have a problem with any of that. But he's like, Mom, I like this boy. Can you ask your cards? Like, okay, I haven't talked to you in 2 years, and that's your question. You want me to read tarot cards for you? And then over the past 2 days, he's probably texted me 6 times. Mom, can you feel what I'm feeling? Mom, I talked to the guy, and what's he feeling? It's really funny. I mean, the 180-degree whatever, but I love every minute of it. I'm telling you. So
I love communication
and being
private
open.
messages me.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Trina.
No, you go.
I'll say I love it when people call me crazy, and then it'll be like a month or 2 later, and they start getting, all their awakening stuff starts flowing in, and they private message me.
Right.
How many times have I said that?
Crazy now.
How many times have I said that the people that are calling us crazy now are going to turn around in the future and they're going to run back to us for answers? I say that all the time. So, Trina, what were you going to say? I want to hear what you were going to say.
I was just the same thing. That's so funny. People, they look at you all the time like that's weird or whatever. And then
Right.
like 6 months later, they're like calling you. And they're like, how did you know that? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's so funny. One time my girlfriend called me and she's calling me and she's like all crying. And I'm like, would you just stop it? I'm like, this, and this, and this. And she's like, I'm like, oh yeah, trust me. And she's like, there's no way. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Right.
She calls me back 24 hours later. I can't even believe it. She's like, there's no way you could have known that. I was like,
one time, probably about 6 months ago or so, my friend's, she's a My best friend, my long time best friend. She's a house manager for a group home for kids.
Yeah.
And they were interviewing more people, and I described the personality of someone they were hiring. Now, this is in Illinois. I'm in Florida, okay? Well, so just kind of out of fun, she told her boss that I knew the personality of the person they were interviewing. So then he would turn around and say, oh, ask your friend what she thinks. Like her boss. It was the funniest thing. So, yeah.
Well, I think that's maybe why this ascension thing is coming in waves, because, it's like a certain wave comes out and, those people start talking about it, and then we kind of help the wave behind us, and it's kind of a cascading effect, or at least, it seems to be. But for some reason, I feel like there's getting ready to be a whopper coming.
I do too.
I don't know why.
I feel like I've been waiting for something too, and I have no idea what I'm waiting for, but I feel like I'm waiting for something.
Big.
So,
something big.
I know
yeah.
that all my clients that I've had over the last year, they're all like 2 steps behind me. So everyone that comes to me, they'll have either a similar background that I have, a similar childhood, or, or their adult life has kind of been the same, and they have the same gifts. It's always like, it's like all the people, and I'll advertise, but it's always people that didn't see my advertisement. They find me out of nowhere, and those people will come to me, and it's like they're 2 steps behind me. So I feel like it is like that in waves,
That's
and then
laws of attraction too, though.
2 steps behind
Well,
them,
that's what I was gonna say. I think we find each other. I think we've all
definitely.
found each other.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because some of these big people like Cryon and Abraham Hicks, they talk about that, the laws of attraction, what you put out, you get back. And, yeah, I definitely, absolutely believe in that. Absolutely. So.
I had a question. Lord, it's almost been an hour. I can't believe that. That's just
well, no, it hasn't, because we started late. Remember? We didn't start until like 10:15.
No, thank God. I was like, oh my God, it's already been an hour.
Right.
You know what, Kat, you're talking about Abraham Hicks and all these wonderful teachers. We've had like Wayne Dyer, and there's just so many beautiful teachers that were talking about the law of attraction. And, they did such a wonderful job with it. But I see a lot of people missing the most important part of that process, which is the part of feeling like it's already yours.
Right.
And then the actual, when you feel like you're actually holding that which you've asked for, the feeling that comes with that, of the gratitude or the excitement or whatever that is when you.
Right. They call it satisfaction. That once you feel satisfaction is when you're matching the vibration of the thing you want to come to you.
Yeah.
And that's why I was
this like for us to come together to create like a bubble of love. I think a great visualization would just be for us to imagine us all having a great party up in the ethers and like having a great like family reunion and like getting our party on, celebrate,
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think that would be a great visual that most of us could connect to, to meeting each other at a grand event with great entertainment, great food, and great people.
Now, I want to add to that about Abraham Hicks and kind of the laws of attraction or like things coming to us. But when I first started listening to Abraham Hicks, for me, it was more about like, okay, how do I, get a job and manifest money? And since I've been listening for, I don't know, over 6 months now, I've gotten a lot of my questions answered, which really, to me, has nothing to do with laws of attraction, because Abraham talks about a lot. And things like, I dream about people all the time. And I absolutely believe that if I'm dreaming about someone, I'm connecting to their emotions and I'm feeling what they're feeling. And I don't think it's fake. I don't think I'm making it up, that I'm manifesting whatever. So and I'd say to my friend, I really feel like if you're dreaming about someone, it's because they're thinking about you. Well, all of a sudden the video pops up from Abraham saying, yes, absolutely. When you're dreaming, you are connecting to that person's energy. And then here's a Luna saying that, your twins are going to come to you in a dream. And then I was trying to tell my twin to go away. And then the next morning I had a dream where he's begging me, no, don't go. I'm miserable with my karmic. I want you. I love you. And it's like, okay, really? Is this, it's like the timing of it's just too crazy that I'm telepathically saying go away. And then the next day the next morning within hours having a dream. And then the video pops up saying, yes, you're connecting to his energy. But, not just that, but all kinds of questions that I've had that Abraham puts out the information that completely confirms what I've always felt. And I wish I could give more examples off the top of my head, but I'm not thinking of anything right now. But the dreams is a big one. Like when we get signs, like this guy's car. Every time I turn around, I see his car, and she's saying, don't doubt yourself that you don't have the power of manifestation to, bring these signs to yourself, that you're manifesting the signs. I can even ask the sky, like, hey, show me a letter J in the clouds twice now. And once was last week at the beach that I was kind of playing around with my daughter and her friend saying, watch this. And I said, okay, if this guy's meant to be with me, show me a J in the clouds. Well, it didn't happen. So we're out in the water. I'm like, okay, show me a J. And my daughter's laughing at me like, Mom, you're yelling, show me a J. So I kind of forgot about it. And I was sitting on the beach, and we went to a dog beach, and I had one of the dogs chained up to the chair that I was sitting in, and I couldn't move. And, because if I got out of the chair would go flying. She is a husky, so it would have pulled the chair. But I'm just sitting there kind of in my own little world, putting my head back, trying to feel that feeling of satisfaction that I'm at the beach. It's a beautiful day. I'm with my daughter I haven't seen since January. And I look up, and here's this like straight shelf of clouds. And on top of that shelf was this bubble J, huge, clear as day, that my daughter and her friend were like, oh, Mom! And I don't know why I didn't take a picture of it, but am I crazy?
No, the universe is like, boom.
Yeah.
What's that, Brian? What, Brian?
I said, if you are, then I am. I'm telling you, like, it's just like with the number, all seeing 333, 444, 1111, and it's like, people making these videos. Everybody comes out with the same information and videos on the same day.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're talking to each other. It's because you're getting these downloads at the same time. Yeah, it's uncanny. I mean, and there's no such thing as this many coincidences. It's just, and I mean, it's uncanny.
No, because the day after I had the dream where he was telling me not to go away, I was standing in the kitchen, and 3 cars in a row like his drove by. Not the same color, but within a minute and a half, and no other cars in between. Just hit like the black one going this way and a white one going that way and a white one going that way within a minute and a half. And again, it's like, is someone playing tricks on me, or am I really supposed to believe that these are signs I'm supposed to be with this guy, Ugh. Whatever. Patience.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't be tied to an outcome. That'll kill you. That'll make you go berserk.
Really trying not to, but I just can't. Like, one more thing, and then I'll let you guys talk. But, but I have this oil from Deborah, which throws me into euphoria. I'm feeling energy moving all around my body. First, it was in my lower chakras, and then Aluna's like, "Oh, you're probably feeling energy moving through your chakras," and the divine masculines, their lower chakras are activating, and you're feeling that. I'm like, oh my God. Well then, okay, so my daughter brought some pot, and I love smoking, and it really opens me up, and they laughed, and I went to bed, and my energy's buzzing all over the place. I'm putting it out there, and he came to me in 5D, which he's with me like almost all the time. I always feel pressure on my back where he's got his hand, or he can actually like rub my back. He can poke me, and my zip, like my muscle will contract from his energy. Well, I could feel him laying in front of me, and I told Brian about this, that I had the most insane, amazing experience where my heart chakra was wide open and his was, and like our energy from our chakras merged, like we became one, and I could not even feel my body. It was so intense. And since then, the telepathic communication between us, like I think before he kind of was trying to hide that he could hear my thoughts, like maybe because he was thinking he was spying or whatever, which I like to know that. But now if he's with me and my mind starts to wander off to something else, he'll poke me and zap me like to, hey, you know, come back to me. And like, and he does it all the time. So it's super cool. But then, you know, I know we're not supposed to question it, but I'm thinking, is it really him? Am I, you know, is it someone else? But it's just nuts. It's crazy. So I feel like I can't not think about him. But I also think that that's him thinking about me all the time. You know what I mean? Like, that's
maybe that like the heart chakras intertwining was like a shift or something, or some kind of merge. That's cool.
Aluna said it was going to happen. She said that we're going to be merging in 5D, and that was what had to happen before we can be together in 3D. So,
yeah.
Okay,
well,
so that's my story.
Sue G just put out that heart chakra energy meditation on my channel and on Choose to by Susan, which is, by the way, it's getting ready to change to Soul Source Intuitives on Sunday, and I think we're going to have a live stream, so y'all tune into that.
Okay, well, now I'm subscribed to both, so I didn't know that the Choose to by Susan was a separate channel.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, well, like I said, but the name will change, but it'll be the same channel. But there's some kind of heart chakra thing that's going on right now, like, you know, and that's why I think a lot more of these emotions are coming through. Would y'all agree?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you're feeling more. There's more emotion there. There's more in depth, like the energies are going like, because I can feel it sometimes, like when I'm feeling pain or like some kind of emotion, it's like it's going directly to my heart chakra. But also,
yes,
when I'm like happy or excited about something, it feels like there's a beam of light coming from my heart chakra. You know, have you guys noticed that? Like that powerful beam that comes from your heart chakra.
Yeah, I've also noticed too, like, you know, these big fluctuations with the magnetic field. They're really like, they're so bad right now with the magnetic field of the planet. And I swear to God, I've been noticing that affecting my heart for about 7 years. And it's getting really, really strong. And now people are starting to make the correlation, because people who have heart conditions, they're really feeling it. And I don't have a heart condition, but because I'm sensitive, I feel it. Well, years ago, I had a friend who was very empathic, and she was hospitalized like 5 times. And my sister-in-law, she's been hospitalized multiple times too, but they never can find a heart attack. And it's not a panic attack, because there's no panic attack with it. It's just heart pain. So they're having heart attacks when they're not having heart attacks. So one of my friends, she started wearing the Oregon pendants, you know, just like
I haven't seen those.
Yeah, just like it's an Oregon pendant, and it just, you know, gets on the heart, covers the heart. And that's really seeming to help a lot of people who are dealing with these magnetic fluxes and the impact it has on our heart, because our heart is magnetic.
But you're saying that
I didn't know that was an issue.
The organ, it blocks energy, is what you're saying?
No, it protects it from the negative fluctuations of the magnetic field. It's keeping a constant earth. This is earth frequency. So it's keeping a ground on your heart, so it's not getting so affected by the magnetic fluctuations.
I need one the size of a bus.
Anya makes a good point. She said that this is also releasing old wounds, though, and that's a very good point. You know, part of this open heart chakra is a lot of that old energy. So that's very.
Yeah, I thought I was having a heart attack a couple months ago. It was bad. The pain there down my arm.
I went to the VA hospital with the same thing, like I had a fever of 103, I had pain in my chest, and they're telling me, well, if you say you have pain in your chest, then we have to do all these EKGs or whatever. I'm like, okay, I don't. But they did do like a chest x-ray and couldn't find a thing. And by the time I left, my fever was completely gone.
Yeah.
So there's been a couple times I've gone to the ER with the VA, and I won't go back because I think they're probably, my throat chakra. I had something going on with my throat chakra. And I actually went to, I know this is going to sound funny, but at our local flea market, they have a guy that's a healer. And this guy, you know, he claims he can heal anything, cancer, you name it. So I went there, and for $20, he laid his hands on me, and he said, okay, well, when you go for this, what do they call it? The scope they put down your throat. But he said they're not, but he said they're not going to find anything. And the funny thing about that was, you know, here I'm in the operating room before they knocked me out, and I was telling them, well, you're not going to find anything, because I went to a healer, Well, a couple of the nurses that were in there, like, oh, really? Like, they were spiritual, so they understood. But I won't go near the VA anymore because I really think they're thinking I'm crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, they just want to slap you with some antidepressants and send you on your way. That's what all the doctors want to do.
Exactly. Yes.
So they can
Xanax, sleeping pills. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
They just want you in a lower vibration. That's exactly what
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
doing. Lower vibration. You know what's funny
Big
is
Pharma's got this.
most definitely. Yeah, I mean that's what runs America. That and oil. You know, America
Right.
Incorporated. That's exactly
Right.
what- I just got to point this out. This is hilarious to me, and so I've got to point it out. Before we came on the show, Kat said she was just going to lay back in the cut.
Right? No, I said I was going to wait and see what you guys were talking about and then jump in is what I said, Brian. I'm trying to shut up. I'm sorry. I know Trina hasn't talked very much, so.
It's okay. I'm good. Good. I did want to mention one thing,
That
though.
was like during the show. Yeah, please. Go
Yeah.
Go ahead, Trina.
Okay. I was.
for it. Oh, you.
Do you want to say something, Brian?
No, I want you to.
Oh,
There's a
I was reading today, and I love Greg Brayton. I don't know if many of you know who that is, but he does a lot of the heart math. And heart math is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life. And our heart, they're finding out so many things about it that they never knew. And it literally, it's magnetic in its essence. It's also a blood pump. But they're also finding out now that, like, kind of like in our pineal gland, how we have like cones and they send out light and frequency and electricity. We have something similar in our heart. So, and it actually can shift the polarity of the spin of the blood. And when you spin blood different ways, it has different alchemical effects. So we're finding out that there's much more to the heart than we ever completely ever understood. And another thing that they found out is that the heart is its own brain. So
yes, I was just going to say that. Yep.
Yeah.
Covered by neural tissue. Yep.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. So it's like, if we can understand that this is how we win, because if we stop using the monkey mind and start using the ultimate center of our being that not only has consciousness and a brain, it's the magnetic force. So if we start being more heart-centered and using our heart mind more than our brain mind, I have a feeling that we're going to see some very powerful changes, because your heart, it doesn't have to process through the brain. So when you feel something in your heart, you know it, and it's instant.
How many times do we say the heart wants what the heart wants?
Yeah, or the heart knows.
Yep.
It's like that gut feeling. You've got neural tissue in your, in your stomach. That's why you get that gut feeling. And if you get that gut feeling, you better listen to it, because it knows what it's talking about.
You got it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I say no to that one.
Right. I even have a sense about money that without looking at my bank account, I'll just know, like, you need to stop spending,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just get the knowing. Yeah.
What, Brian?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's all the time. Bank account, what's that?
But I mean, I don't even pay attention to what I don't calculate. I'm not like, I don't have a lot, so it's not like I need, 10 pages in my checkbook register, but I don't write anything down, and I just, without, even keeping track, I just have that sense of, okay, it's time to not buy anything else,
Right. No,
so, yeah.
And Kat, by the way, people in the chat are loving you, so.
Oh, yeah? Because I'm so crazy. Thank you. I love you all too. I mean, you guys really make me feel good. And how we all talk about we don't fit in, or whatever. I mean, you guys really have. So I appreciate that so much. I really, really do. So thank you.
This is my family. It truly is. This is my family. It's amazing. And like, that's what the whole point basis of this show is about, is coming together as a community. You know, like, you're not alone out there. You know, I guarantee you can hit any of these people up, and their emails are fine. And if you need an email, if they give me permission, I'll give it to you. Somebody's there for you if you need, you know, a shoulder to cry on or just somebody to laugh with. So don't hesitate, because like I said, I know this could be tough.
Well, you know how many times, Brian, I've said to people that I'll say, oh, I talked to my friend Brian, and, you know, I first met him in another chat, and then he was in mine, and now he's doing his own show. And I'll say, I know he's going to be a lifelong friend. I tell people that about you. So I really do feel that way. And, you know, and now that I'm getting to know more people in Brian's community, I mean, you know, not Brian's community, but you know what I'm saying? We're in Brian's chat right now. So, yeah, better friends here than any friends we could make in 3D, I think, you know, or you know what I mean?
Well, it's funny, you go in like other chats too, or you watch someone else's live videos, and it's a lot of the same core group of people, and you'll see, and it's like you've known them a lifetime, you know? Like,
yes.
Every time Brian comes on, it's like, hey, Milky.
Yeah, like, hey, right. Especially when you're in one chat and then you go directly into another one and you see the same people. It's like, hey, funny seeing you here again, you know. So
yeah, like last night we were on Brian's, and then Dave had something, so we hopped over to Dave's, and then Brian showed up. It was like party again. It was the after party.
Right.
That was cool too, that he kind of did a continuation of what I had talked about. Like, and he was like, oh, I don't mean no disrespect. I was like, man, it's an honor that you're actually talking about, you know, doing a continuation of. I mean, you know, that means that you were interested. It caught your attention. That's, to me,
right.
That's a compliment.
Right.
And like I said, Dave's a good soul, man. He really is.
Yeah, definitely. He's very passionate.
Yeah.
Who you telling? Well, you know what? It's plug time, and Keelee, I definitely want you to do a plug for, you know, what you got going over on Facebook, but also what's going to be coming up on YouTube.
Okay, so I have a YouTube channel. You can find it. It's under Keelee Rayanne. Also, I have a Facebook business page. I used to do some lives on there, and I would do like free Facebook lives and read for like whoever shows up. Usually I get about 300 people. I'm going to start doing them on YouTube now, just doing the lives there just because I like the platform better, and I'm trying to move away from Facebook a little bit. But I have a mediumship course that's coming up in October. It's it'll build you from the ground up, from introductory, no matter what level you are, kind of build you from the ground up, gives you the fundamentals. Plus I teach you to do like the healing channeling that I do, because that's my purpose here is to help people through their ascension. So I do those one-on-one sessions, and I have some other programs on my website, but I also teach mediumship. Like, that's why I'm here. So if anyone has any questions or needs any help, hit me up.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
I think what would be really easy too is after the video gets posted as a video, the live stream gets posted as a video, can you just put some little comment under so that way we can go to your channel and subscrib?
Yeah, you know I will. Definitely. Thank you.
Okay, good.
You could put a link in there too.
Well, except I'm not in the chat and I can't get it that way, so I have to get it after the fact. So that's why I was thinking if you could do it in the comments also.
Yeah, I'll add a comment.
Okay, perfect. Because I'd really love to, you know, watch what you have to teach.
Right,
I think I would definitely benefit.
Oh yeah, coming up, I want to get like people to come on my channel and do like some of the online healing work in person, you know, live, where people can see how it works. Whoever's not, you know, afraid to show their emotions, because sometimes it gets a little emotional. But I'd love to do it live to a couple people, whoever's willing.
Yeah,
I might be a guinea pig. I'll try it.
There you go.
I've been a guinea pig before. So, do either one of y'all got anything you want to plug in? Yes, no, maybe.
I'm good.
Any last words?
Just love one another.
Buy Deborah's oil, etheric essentials.
Yeah, etheric.
I'm doing that, definitely.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like I said, tell her Milky Way Weekly sent you, and she'll hook you up. No,
tell him Kat sent you. No, I'm just kidding, Brian. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
Okay, I'll be a repeat customer, so.
All right, well, good deal. Well,
just teasing.
I got some good shows coming up. Tomorrow night, of course, I've got Brian Lunsford with me. And then today I kind of wrapped up a Sunday super show. So I'm going to be having DJ Ransom, Raven Wolf, and Suji on Sunday. And then also Sunday, that's Sunday night. Sunday, I'm going to be doing that Soul Source Intuitives, the kickoff live stream for it. And I'm not sure on the time of that yet, but the one Sunday night will be at 10 o'clock. So y'all check in for that. And ladies, thank you all for coming on.
Thank you.
It wasn't as chaotic. It was a little bit there, but
As long as I wasn't talking over everybody.
Right.
Yeah, you were great. Yeah,
Love you guys. Nice to meet you, Keelee.
Yeah,
nice to meet you all, too. Thank you.
definitely. Hopefully we see you in the chats too.
Yes.
Love you too. All right. Good night, everybody in the chat. Thanks for saying nice things. Yeah, thank you.
And remember, be the frequency you want to receive. Y'all have a